Welcome to Dr. Deepa Dake's Need Biology, and from today's session we begins with the new unit for class 11th, that is plant physiology. And in this unit we start to study about the chapter 11, that is the transport in plant. When we come towards this unit, so in this unit we mainly study about how does the water transport as well as the food transport take place in plant. Already in your previous classes you studied about the xylem is responsible for water transport and phloem is responsible for food transport. But in this chapter we study the detail about all the transport processes. Secondly, in addition to that, we study what are the different pressure systems or the different phenomena which required to movement of water in upward direction. So stay connected with channel, and now begins with the transport in plant. When you study about the transport in plant, so normally in plant you remember there are two types of transport. One type of transport you remember, commonly we say a short distance transport. This part you remember, the transports are of two types. First we say short distance transport, and only one topic in this chapter we study, because this is one of the most important chapter for your NEET exam as well as for the theory exams. So short distance transport, as well as we study the second type of transport, that is take place in between root and shoot, that is commonly called as long distance transport. This you remember. Now when we use the term short distance transport, then what kind of transport? So here you remember short distance transport means simply the transport is take place between cells. So cell to cell, when we study about the transport, then that transport is called as short distance transport. The short distance transport you remember, either it take place by the process of diffusion that we will study in our coming sessions. So the short distance transport is take place by simple diffusion, or it take place by cytoplasmic streaming. Cytoplasmic streaming in plant is commonly called as cytoplasmic streaming. Cytoplasmic streaming is commonly called cyclosis, and cyclosis, when you study the cyclosis, so you remember that plants of Tradescantia, the movement in the leaves of cytoplasmic movement in the leaves of Hydrilla plant are the two common and best example for cyclosis. So cytoplasmic streaming, that means with the help of cytoplasm, the movement is take place or transport is take place from one part of the cell to another part of the cell. So cytoplasmic streaming is responsible, as well as you remember the plasmodesmata, direct transfer is take place according to concentration gradient. So here you remember the short distance transport are also take place by plasmodesmata. So this part you remember for the short distance transport, that is mainly the transport is cell to cell. But when we come towards the long distance transport, that the transport which is take place by xylem and the transport take place by phloem. Xylem responsible for root to shoot, and phloem is responsible for bidirectional transport, and this transport is take place for a very long distance. So here simply you remember most important term, the long distance transport in plant is called as, what term we use for long distance transport? So it is called as translocation. This part you remember. So translocation is the long distance transport, and this translocation mainly completed by vascular tissue. Vascular tissue, you remember, vascular tissues are of two types in plant. One tissue is xylem and second tissue is phloem. When we come towards xylem, so here you remember, xylem, when we study, xylem is responsible for water transport, that you all are knowing, because from lower classes you study all these things. And secondly, this xylem, when transport the water, so it responsible for unidirectional transport. This you remember, the unidirectional transport. That means the transport is always take place in one direction, that is upward direction. And upward direction in plant means from root towards shoot, this transport is take place. So this part you remember. When we discuss about the phloem transport, so phloem is mainly responsible for food transport. Now when we come towards food, then what kind of food? So food, here you remember, predominantly when we discuss the food which is transported in phloem, so that you remember, sucrose is a form of food which is transported via phloem. Secondly, phloem whenever associate with long distance transport. So from 11th onward, you remember, the food is transported in bidirectional way. So bidirectional transport, you remember, we predominantly appear or observe in phloem. And bidirectional means not now for objective purpose, as well as for class 11th standard you prepared. Some students prepared for the NEET also. So for NEET purpose अगर आप study करते हैं, so for NEET purpose you remember, or number of competitive exams, this part is included because one of the most important part, and this is the part of basic science in number of exams also. So over there also it is asked bidirectional transport stand for. So you never remember bidirectional means shoot to root or root to shoot. You only remember one term, that from the food is always transported from source to sink. Source, you remember what is source? Source means the site in plant or the organs in plant where the food is synthesized or food is stored. So the sites of the plant or the organs of the plant where the food is synthesized or food is stored, that part is called as source. And sink, the site of the plant or the organ of the plant where the food required for the metabolic activity, growth and development, those sites are plant of the plants are called as sink. And because of that, the food always travel from source to sink, and according to variation in season, in some season food transported in upward direction, in another season food transported in downward direction, and that's why we say the food transport is, or the transport via phloem is always take place in as a bidirectional transport. So this part you remember. Now when I think you clear about the short distance and long distance transport, because this is a conceptual part for the transport systems in plant. Now when we come towards the transport, so again we discuss about the two different terms for the transport or two different types of transport. these two different types of transports are, first you remember or we study passive transport, and the second transport in plant we study, that is active transport. So here you remember passive transport and active transport are mainly according how these two types we define. So these two types you remember, these two types are mainly according to the requirement of ATP as well as according to the movement of molecules on the basis of concentration gradient. So passive transport when we study, so passive transport, the molecules of solute or solvent, you remember, molecules are transported according to concentration gradient. This you remember. But in case of active transport, you remember, the transport is always take place against concentration gradient. So transport is take place against concentration gradient. Now students, you are knowing the meaning of according to concentration gradient. That means the molecules are moved or transport from their higher concentration towards their own lower concentration. But when we say they transport according against concentration, that means that molecules of the solute or solvent forcefully transported from their lower concentration towards their higher concentration. And for this, the most important thing, passive transport not required ATP. So the transport in which ATP is not required, those transports are called as passive transport. Whereas active transport when we study, so the main feature of transport, because forcefully molecules of the solute or solvent absorbed or transported from lower concentration, that's why the metabolic energy or ATP, you remember, ATP is required. This part you remember, whenever you study passive transport, one of the simple example for passive transport is diffusion. Facilate diffusion also we study. So diffusion you remember, one of the most common example for passive transport. But active transport in all systems, whether we study about the transport in plants, transport in animals, for active transport one of the best example is sodium potassium pump. Here we use the pump word because by forceful transport or forcefully a kind of pressure is generated for the absorption of the ions or absorption of the molecules from their lower concentration, and the sodium potassium pump is one of the best example for the active transport. So this much you remember for the passive and active transport. And for today's session, because this is the introductory class, in this chapter we study detail about the diffusion, types of diffusion. After that we come towards the permeability of membrane. Then you come towards the path of water and various pressure systems in plant cell. So here you simply remember the transport. What do we understand by the transport? From next session we discuss about the diffusion. That first we discuss about the passive transport, and then we come towards the active transport. The students who are new for the session, they kindly subscribe my channel, like my videos and share my videos. And up to next session, stay motivated, stay blessed and be positive.